Okay, I'll go through the revision questions for chapter 4 and 5 in this video. I will use the Microsoft Word document. So two sisters, Kate and Laura, each won 12,000 in lottery. Okay, so 12,000 is your principal. Kate invested her 12,000 earning simple interest, which is your I equals to PRT, 7.8% per year for 18 months. 18 months, in other words, is 1.5 years. Okay, Laura invested her 12,000 in a bank account, earning 7.5% compounded semi-annually. So they ask you Kate, you calculate for Kate first. So you find the interest, 12,000 times 0.078 times 1.5. Why 1.5? 18 over 12, in other words, all right? You will get the interest of 1404. So they want the future value. You take principal plus interest, you will get 13,404. So complete the table below for Laura. So Laura's investment is compound interest, where your interest rate is 0.075. Your N is equal to 2 because it is semi-annually. So all you have to do is just complete this one sentence here. This one row here, which is easy. You bring this down. The interest is calculated here. That will be the value of your investment at the end using your compound interest formula. So who earned more interest after 18 months? So if you go back on top, you can see Kate is 1404. And if you look at Laura, is 1401.26. So either you take this minus the original period, or you just add up all this interest and you will see Kate earned more than Laura. Now they say, if Kate and Laura invested their money for 2 years instead of 18 months, who would earn more interest? Justify your answer. So interest earned by Kate, I equals to PRT, I'll times 2 here, 1872. So for Laura, we will continue, bring it down, and you will calculate the interest. So the interest earned by Laura is this. So you will realize if they keep it for 2 years, Laura will eventually earn more than Kate. All right, so moving along, number 2. How long will it take to obtain, if you want to obtain that value, that is your future value, from an investment of 15,000? This is your principal. 10% compounded semi-annually. So 10% is 0.1 semi-annually, N equals to 2. So either you use this formula that's been given to you in your manual, or you do it manually the way I taught you all in my previous video. So that is better. Because if you forget this formula, then everything will be, you can't do it. Okay, but if you can use this formula, I'm good too. So they ask you to round to the nearest year, you round off to 8 years. Okay, so this is a chapter 5 question. The original population was 500. So what is 500? Whenever it's chapter 5, this should come to your head. Y equals to Ka to the power of X. This population grew. What does that tell you? This is a growth at 25% each year until it reached 9095. Okay, so meaning you know your A should be 1.25. So which of the following equations, when you see equations, you know you have more than one equation to basically circle for me here. So the first one is definitely wrong because your A must be 1 plus R. This is only R, so this is wrong. All right, the second is correct. The third is definitely wrong. Your K is not 625. The last one is also correct because 5 over 4 is the same as 1.25. All right, so you got the second and fourth. How long did the population take to reach the size of 9095? So if they ask you how long, you know you're either going to apply log or ln. But in this situation, there is no E, so you just apply log. So 9095 equals to 500, 1.25 to the power of t, you will apply log. You don't know how to apply log, please come and see me because you will get such questions in your progressive check. So it will be 13 years. When the population reached 9095, the growth slowed down to 10%. So it's still a growth, but now it's slowed to 10%, meaning your new A is 1.1. This growth rate continued until the population reached 23590. They want to know how many years. So it reached 23590, this is your Y. You will take from 90, because when it started at 9095, then only slow. So you have to take the 9095, growth rate 1.1, and you're going to find the t. So the t that you get after you apply log is 10 years. Okay, so they ask you how many years in total. 10 plus 13 gives you 23 years. So you got to do it step by step, all right? You don't know, please come and see me. What constant annual percentage growth rate would have been needed to go from this? So they want to know what's the constant rate. Right now, there are two rates, 1.25 and 1.1. So what's the constant rate? So we just start from right of the bit. Y equals to KAX. So K is 500. A is what you're looking for. It took 23 years. So if you realize, if you get this wrong, all will be wrong. This is a past year question and this is how it will be. Equals to 23590. So you're looking to find A. After you find A, you minus 1 and times 100%, you will find the rate. So always remember, must minus 1 times 100 if you want to find percentage, all right? Answer correct to 2 decimal places. If they don't write this, you should also know it because it's percentage. Moving on, the population of 23590 was unsustainable, and once it reached that level, it declined. So if you see decline steadily at 100 per month, this is not exponential anymore. This is just a steady decline. Every month 100, every month 100. So how long would it take? So you just divide 100, you will get 235.9. They ask you nearest month, you round off to 236. Pretty simple. The inaugural attendance of an annual music festival is 150,000. So that is your K. So they ask you to write the equation. This is pretty simple. 150,000, 1.08 because it's growing by 8% each year to the power of T. How many people will attend the festival in the 5th year? This is where students always go wrong. When they ask you in the 5th year, T equals to 0 represents the 1st year already. So 5th year, it will be T equals to 4. Okay, let me explain why. If I tell you, how long will it take until, okay, so if they ask you in the 8th year, then you put 7. But if they ask you after 5 years, then you put 5. So there's a difference in the term. After 5 years and in the 5th year. In the 5th year, you will substitute 1 less because T is already equals to 0. You understand? Okay? If they tell you after 5 years, then you straight away substitute 5. So there is a difference in the term. After and in. In, you have to minus 1 because T is equals to 0. After, you just straight away substitute in. Alright? Okay, all good. So round off to the nearest 1,000. You follow accordingly and round it off. Jane invests 300 at a simple interest at 4.5%. So basically, this is quite simple. It's your I equals to PRT. You want to find time. The time is 4 years. Pretty much straightforward. All right? Okay? So you find your time. You will get 4 years. This shouldn't be a problem at all. Okay? She wants to give the interest, therefore 50. So the least number of years will be 4 years. All right, let's find out what's going on here. Katie took out a personal loan of 12,000. This is my principal. 3 years is my time. 12% is my rate. The bank charges was 150. This was 76. She added this to the principal. So let's see. Total amount borrowed, 12,000. You will plus the 150. You will plus the 76.5. Because she said here, she added these charges to the principal. So this is where you have to add it. So your new principal is 12,226.50. All right. Your rate is 12%. Time is 3 years. So you use your I equals to PRT. Okay. And you find the interest. All right. You use your I equals to PRT and find the interest. That will be 4401.54. Now you want to find total repayment is principal plus interest. All right. So you will get the total repayment is 16,628. So now what is fortnightly? Fortnightly repayment is every 2 weeks. Normally you find monthly repayment. Because this is 3 years, you divide with 36 monthly repayment over done. But now you want fortnightly. So you need to find there how many 2 weeks in 3 years. So there's 1 year got 52 weeks, right? Correct or not? So you divide by 2, you will get 26. So there are 26 2 weeks in a year. Alright, then you times 3, there will be 78 in 3 years. Then you divide 78, you will get 213.18. Okay, calculate the interest saved. She had paid the up. Okay, this is all they are saying here is if she didn't add these two into the principal. So this one you already got after she added. So you just find a new one, meaning you take 12,000 times 0.12 times 3. You find the interest and then you just minus. That's about it. All right. Okay, number 7, what are they asking you? Kelly has a housing loan. All right. Kelly has a housing loan, 6%, 25 years, increase to 7%. What is the monthly payment? She would pay on 100. So you do it twice. You find for the 6%, what is the monthly payment? You find for the 7%, what's the monthly payment? And you find the difference. That's about it. Okay? You do what you do twice, meaning. So the first one for the 6%, find interest, future value, divide with months. Find interest, future value, divide by months, and find the difference. All right? Okay, number 8, this is a studio apartment. This is your principal, 600,000 per annum reducible interest. So reducible interest, remember how we did it? He made repayments of 5,000 monthly. Why is this monthly bolded? So that you see this is 7.5% per year. So you need to change it into a monthly rate. Understand? The table below shows the progress of his loan for the first 2 months. So this is for the first 2 months. They ask you to calculate the interest. This is super easy. You just take this minus this. That's your interest. Take this minus this. Some of they already told you what they are doing. Here's principal, interest, P plus I minus your repayment. Show the progress of the loan for the next 2 months. So you just do the same thing as what I taught you. You bring it down, find your interest, add back to principal minus repayment. This come down again. Find your interest, add back your interest minus your repayment. So this shouldn't be a problem, okay? So this question is something similar to what I've given you in your manual before, only it is a maybe different story. Harun invested in an investment scheme 9 years ago. That's your time. It is worth 12,000 today. So today is worth 12,000 means my future value is 12,000. Okay, assume there is 14% compounded every 2 months. I know you have never seen this before. Just think about it logically. If it's every 2 months, that means in a year, how many times do you do it? 6 times. 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. How many 2 months? 6, right? So you do it 6. So your n is equal to 6. Doesn't mean you never see, means you don't know. Okay? So every 2 months, n is equals to 6. So you plug it into the formula and find for me the principal. If he leaves the money in the account, how much would he have at the beginning of 5th year? This is very important. Same thing in your manual. If beginning of 5th year means I'm talking about 4 years. Understand? Because it's a beginning. Unless they say end of 5th year, then you can substitute 5. Beginning, you substitute 4. Is that clear? All right. What is the total interest earned? You just take future value and minus your principal. You should be able to get it. All right, estimates show this table down here. So now let's look at this. An exponential growth model that actually you don't need to use the table for this because they have given you the formula here, which I've explained to you how to see the formula, right? S will be Y, K will be 10.33, that's your initial, A will be E 0.1022, and T will be time. So calculate the growth rate. What do we want? When they ask you to calculate the growth rate, they want A. What is your A? Your A is this. Okay, your A is actually E. So you plug it into the calculator. Okay, so your A is actually E 0.1022. You plug it into the calculator, you will get 1.11 billion. Why do I put billion? Because question is in billions. When will the annual advertising spending reach 40 billion to the nearest year? So since this table is in billions, I put it as 40. I don't need to put the billion part of it. 40 equal to your equation, you want to find T. So simplify first, then you'll have E 0.1022T. Then you apply ln. So when you apply ln, the 0.1022T will come down and come in front of the ln E. Ln E is 1, it will disappear. Then you can find time. See, I've not rounded off anything. If you can, please don't round off. Plug it in the calculator one shot. All right? So that's about it for the revision for chapter 4 and 5. If there's any problems, please come and see me. Yeah?